Jai Hind all. My name is Babita. I'm assistant professor in MCA department at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. So, in the lecture series of DSA, we are going to discuss the new lecture. That is a concept is graph and it's a traversal techniques. So basically, this is my third lecture in this series, and this lecture is more beneficial. Yeah, it is preferred for the MCA second semester students, and the code is a BMC 205. Right, and this very helpful for the students who are preparing for your exams that is recently start in the semester, right? So let's get start. What is a graph and it's a traversal techniques. So the outcomes of the this lecture series is basically firstly we introduce the concept of a graph, and we will understand what is the concept and what is the real life applications and the meaning and definition of the graph, and the basic terminology which is important to understand the concept of the graph, and what are the basic components you can say. And next we will talk about some different kinds of graphs which we have in a real life, and we will identify according to the uses. And next we will the approach of traversing, that means how can we visit it and how can we access the graph elements. So basically this is discussed in terms of depth first search and BFS search, right? And next we will discuss the some application areas, right? So firstly we will introduce the what is a graph. So graph is a data structure. Before this concept, we will discuss some type of a data structure. Basically, I mentioned here, data structure is divided into two categories, in which we have discussed some linear data structure, right? And some non-linear data structure. So data structure, if I'm talking about linear data structure, we have an array, we have a stack, queue, linked list, right? And yeah, these are the linear data structure. If I'm talking about the non-linear data structure, that means we have a graph and tree, graph and tree, right? So these are the basic data structures, tree. So basically here the meaning of linear and non-linear, that means in this term we have the data linearly, right? Yeah, in a sequential form, yeah, in an ordered form, yeah, we can say in a arranged form, right? And in a non-linear data structure, that means where we have the data unstructured form, right? There is no sequence, no arrangements, data are coming randomly for us, and we are collecting in a unstructured form. So that type of application, that type of data is arranged by using some specific data structure, and in which we have the graph is important data structure for collecting unstructured or unorganized data. Yeah, we can say the which are we are having a randomly, right? There is no sequence, no ordered and no arrangement, right? So the graph is nothing but it is a non-linear data structure consisting of vertices or edges, right? So data is collected in term of prior this data is considered as a element, or you can say data, or you can say value. But in the non-linear data structure, data is considered as a combination of edges and vertex, right? Yeah, you can say data is collected in a form of vertices, and these vertices is nothing but it is a node, and node is connecting with each other by using some links and by using some edges. So basically this is the main configuration approach of a non-linear data structure. Is most widely used in different areas. Let's take the example of your social sites. Just for example, I have some friends and my friends also have some friends, and the other means those friends have some other friends. So we are connecting indirectly with each other, and that is nothing but it is a unstructured, or you can say non-linear data structure, right? And in the field of sports data science, the given graph structure can be used to analyze and understand the dynamic of team performance and player interaction on the field. So these are the some examples where we seen the scenario of the graphs, right? You are imaging a football ground and web connections also. So these are the basic concept, right? Next we will move on the exact definition. You can say the technical term of the graph. So graph is nothing, it is a in the context of mathematics or computer science, it is a data structure that is used to represent a relationship between the entities, and these entities is nothing but it is a vertex, or you can say nodes, right? As you convenient, you can call it as a node and you can call it as a vertex. So it consists of a combination of two sets, that is a vertex and edges. Vertex represent the real life entities themselves, also called the nodes and the points. But edges is a relationship, or you can say links between two vertices or two nodes, and also called as a edges, right? So mathematically, how graph is represent, here we have some entities. Let's suppose A, B, C, D, E, and right. So if I'm talking about in linear context, these are the elements and these are the data. But in the context of a non-linear data structure, it is nothing but it is a individual vertices, right? So these vertices are connecting with each other by using some links, and these links is nothing but it is a edges, right? So edges is joining two vertices, two separate vertices joining by using edges. So these are the edges and these are the vertices. You can call it as a points, you can call it as a nodes, right? So basically V is a set of vertices and E is a set of edges. So here we have some basic terminology regarding a graph. So as we know, the vertex is nothing but it is a real life entities or real entities, that is called as a node and points. Edges are called as a relationship and links between two separate vertices. It may be directed edges, it may be undirected edges, right? In the next slides, we will definitely sound the particular. Just suppose ki these are the edges, but these edges is directed edges because they have a direction. It will go forward or backward. So these are directed edges, right? But in this graph, the edges is not directed. It will considered as A to B and B to A also, right? But in this case, the direction is considered only as A to B because the edges is directed. So these are the basic difference between the directed and undirected edges. Next, we have a weighted graph and unweighted graph. That means if edges have some weights, have some values, that is called as a weighted graph, right? Let's suppose here we have. So in this, the edges have a no specific value and no item has a no weighted is assigned here. But in this graph, we have some weight, and this weight is considered for calculating some minimum path, or you can say some minimum route distance, right? So these are the weighted and unweighted graph, right? So these are some basic terminology regarding the. Next, we will consider it as a degree. So degree is nothing but it is a calculation for a particular vertex. That means how many edges will go out and will come inside, right? So these are the degree. Let's suppose in this particular graph, the degree of A. So basically, the degree of A is 1, 2 and 3. So here we have A is a 3 degree, right? If I'm talking about the A, so basically, D is having any incoming nodes? No. So basically, the degree of D is 3 because 3 edges is outgoing for other vertices. So these are the concept of degree, right? Next, we have a path. Path is nothing but it is a total distance between the source to destination node, right? Let's suppose I have to go with I have to go at a index, yeah, you can say vertex E. So basically I go to like this. So this is nothing but it is a path, right? So from source to destination, I reached by using some ACEs, by using some links, and these links is nothing but it is a path. So these are the concept which is considered as a basic terminology of the graph. Next, we will talk about some cyclic loop. Cycles and loops. Cycle is nothing but it is a closed graph traversal. That means if I am talking about the path, so basically, let's suppose I go from this is, and this is, and this is, and this is. So this particular makes a cycle. And from source to vertex, I have to visit some particular edges, and these edges at last closed with itself. That is called a cycle, right? Next, if I'm talking about a loop, loop is nothing but it is a self referencing edge for a vertex, right? So edge that connects a vertex to itself, that is a loop. Subgraph, that means the graph have some number of edges and number of vertices, is known as a subgraph. Just a subset of the vertices and edges of another graph is called as a subgraph. So connected and disconnected graph, complete and bipart graph, tree and acyclic and isomorphic graph. So these are some basic terminology that we have to understand before discussing the actual functionality, actual concept of the graph. Because by understanding these things, we observe the basic approach of the graph. Yeah, what type of approach we are working, what type of approach we are using for this particular data arrangement, right? Next, we will discuss the type of traversal for a graph. So here the graph is traversed in a two approaches. First one is a DFS, that is a depth first search, and the next one is a BFS, that is a breadth first search. So what is the meaning of a depth first search and breadth first search? As its names implies, just I am showing your simple representation. This particular scenario is called as a breadth, right? If I am asking a question, ki this particular means functionality, this particular implementation is called as a breadth, and this particular implementation is called as a, you can say vertically. If I am working, that means I am working with breadth. If I'm horizontally if I'm working, that means I'm working with breadth. If vertically I'm working, that means we are working with depth. So here we have a two scenario, either horizontally or vertically. Horizontally is known as a breadth, and vertically is known as a depth, right? So this is the basic depth concept, and this is the breadth. So here we have a graph. Let's suppose ki this is my graph, sorry, right? If I am traversing this particular scenario, in this scenario, I am traversing this graph in such manner, that is known as a breadth first. I traverse first this particular level, then I come on this level, then I come on this level, and then I come on this level. So this is nothing but it is a breadth first search. So this work horizontally. First horizontal level we will cover, next move on the next level, then again next level, then up to last level of the graph. So this is concept of breadth first search. If I'm talking about the depth first search, that means this is a graph and I choose a one direction of the graph and go till the end of the graph. This is nothing but is a depth. That means I choose a one direction and I go for the last depth of the graph. So this is DFS, right? So basic concept of the DFS and BFS, I hope you will understand. And next we will discuss the process or working process of the BFS. So basically BFS is a graph traversal techniques, or you can say algorithm, that systematically visit all nodes in the graph, exploring all nodes at a particular level. Level is nothing but it is considered as a horizontal approach, right? Like these are nothing. This is a level 1. Yeah, you can say level 0, level 1, level 2. So level is matlab, just for example, we have a building and first floor, second floor, third floor and fourth floor. So these floor is nothing but it is a level in a graph context, right? So BFS work level by level, and that means we visit all the neighbors, yeah, you can say the adjacent siblings type nodes, right? BFS utilizing a queuing method. For this scenario and for this implementation, we are organizing a data structure. These data structure is nothing but it is a queue, because we are working horizontally. First we visit is, we are adding this in this queue. Next we will move on the adjacent nodes of this prior nodes, right? So all the adjacent nodes which are connecting to previous node, we are visiting in this structure. So basically this structure is nothing but it is a concept of queue. So the queuing, queue method is used to navigate and to process the BFS. So moving, this is a popular graph algorithm. We can say here we have some popular graph algorithm. That means we can say the Dijkstra algorithm is used to implement the concept of BFS, and next we go on for Prim's algorithm, right? So these are the basic algorithm which are working on the principle of a BFS. If I'm talking about the time complexity, so basically here the data is organized in terms of a vertex and edges. So total time complexity is observed according to the vertex and edges. So total number of vertices and total number of edges we are summing, we are adding both, and we calculate the total number of time consumed by the execution, right? So BFS explore all the vertices and all the edges in a graph. So basically the worst case time complexity for this is equal to the big O, V and V plus E, right? So here V is a vertex and E is a edges. Next we will talk about some characteristics of the BFS. So as we seen in the graph, it will work for level by level, and the queuing utilization, that means BFS use the data structure, queue data structure for storing the data which is including in the graph. And next, marking visited nodes, that means avoid the processing a node move than the once, yani ki more than one the more than once agar koi node aa raha hai, to that means it will ignore it, right? Uniformity in a path length. So BFS is especially useful in finding the shortest path between the source to destination with a weighted graph. Shortest is calculating after the weight of the edges. If the edges have no weight, that means we are not able to calculate the shortest path, right? So these are the basic characteristics of BFS. Next we will work on the implementation part, or working process of the BFS. So basically firstly we define a queue, and this queue is used to store the adjacent nodes or to store the values of the graph, right? So first step is define a queue. Next, select any vertex as a starting point, yani ki if we have this particular graph, in this graph we choose at any vertex, we choose as starting point here, we choose at starting point here from here, and we choose the starting point from here. You can choose any vertex including in your graph as a starting point, right? After selecting your starting point, you can traverse the whole nodes and whole edges of the graph. Next, visit all the non-visited adjacent vertices of the vertex and which is in the front of the queue, and insert them into the queue. Let's suppose this is A, B and C, and here we have a D. I choose A is my starting vertex, right? Next, I calculate the adjacent vertices, neighbor of the A. So what is the neighbor of the A? A के neighbor हैं आपके B and C. So basically I am inserting in the queue A as well as its neighbor, right? So B and C also inserting in the queue along with the A vertex, right? So this is the basic principle. When there is no new vertex to visit it, at last, if I have no other vertex to be visited for the vertex at the front of the queue, then is delete. At last, let's suppose ki I go with B, I remove this, yeah, you can say I delete and next visit all the adjacent vertices, right? So repeat step 3 and 4 until Q become empty. So basically first I will insert the adjacent and neighbors node of the vertices, and one by one I deleted and removing all nodes from the queue and make a path or make a tree for a graph, right? And this tree is also called as a spanning tree, or you can say minimum spanning tree for this particular graph. So this is the functionality, and how can work graphically and representatively, we will understand in this example. Let's suppose the A is my starting vertex and I go with inserting A in the queue. So select vertex A as a starting point and visit it and insert in the queue. Next, we will move on the adjacent nodes. Yeah, you can say the neighbors node of the B. For this, we have to delete from the queue. So delete A from the queue and visit all non-visited vertices in the queue. Initially, the queue is containing null value, right? Remember this thing, कि initially queue is containing null value. So just suppose here we have a null values, right? And after visiting, the value is changed with that particular vertices, right? तो डिलीट फ्रॉम ए, यानी कि हमने ए को अगर डिलीट किया है तो दैट मीन्स आई हैव टू विजिट द एडजेसेंट नोड्स और एडजेसेंट वर्टिसेस. द बेसिक एडजेसेंट वर्टिसेस ऑफ द ए is B and C. So basically B and C is adding in the queue. Next, delete. That means I have no other vertices to visit here. So we will move on the next node. So at the front side, we will find B is my next node to delete it, right? So delete B from the queue. This means also add the adjacent nodes. So B is connecting to E and D. So basically D and E have to include, have to add in the queue. As we visited B, we delete from the queue and visit all non-visited adjacent vertices in the queue and inserting in the queue. So basically B is connecting to D and E. So we are adding these in a queue. Next, at the front side, we will find C is my next vertex that I have to delete. So delete C from the queue. And what does this mean? As we delete it, that means we are calculating, we are observing what are the next adjacent nodes for a C, right? So C is connecting to D. So basically D is already, because this null value is updated, we will compare it. Is it null or not? So it is not null. So basically already visited. Next we will move on the next node. So next node is nothing. Now front is denoting to D. So basically we will come on the vertex D. So as we delete it, that means we are observing the adjacent nodes. And what is the adjacent node? That means D is connecting to B and E. But B is already visited and already deleted. That means we are not repeating, but E is already have in a queue. So basically at last, as we delete D, we have a last element, that is a E, and E also delete from the queue, because in this the algorithm of the BFS as implies that till the queue is empty, we are visiting all nodes and we are deleting all nodes, right? Visit all non-visiting adjacent vertices, and non-visiting adjacent vertices, here we have a nothing. So basically it delete from the queue simply, right? And at last we make a subtree of the graph, and this particular tree is also known as a subgraph of the given graph, right? So this is the concept of BFS. In this we are working level by level. Firstly we will move this particular level, then we will cover this particular level, and then this, and then this. So this is nothing but it is a level by level graph traversal. So next we will move on the next approach of the traversal, that is a DFS. DFS is nothing but it is a depth first search. It is a foundational algorithm and used to traverse the graph depth wise, right? So it start from a selected node and explore all the possible nodes, that is a possible depth of the graph. So this method is called the depth first search because it go deep possible into the graph from the current node to last node. So how can how it is work? Let's take an example and we will discuss, right? The same graph we will consider here, and we start from vertex A. This is my starting point, and as we implementing the DFS, we are using here as a stack. Stack is used to implement the DFS, right? So this is the basic difference between BFS and DFS. BFS use the queue data structure and DFS use the stack data structure, right? So A is visiting, that means we are adding in the stack, and stack is nothing but it is a data structure that works with a single index, that is a top, and visiting any one of the unvisited node, you can say adjacent vertices of the graph. So basically A is connecting to B and A is connecting to C. So basically for what way we are going here, we are going depth wise. I select this particular path, right? So A is connecting to B, then again B is adding to the stack, right? And how here we have a two path, B to E and B to D, but I am selecting as a D. So basically this is the depth of the graph. I go A to B and B to D, and next D is visiting, that is adding in the stack. Next there we have the opportunity, we have an option to connect with the E. So basically here we have a single path, I visited this and adding E to the here we have another path also, that is a D to C, but I go for a E, you can say for a C you can visit, right? And visit any one of the non-visited adjacent vertices of a D and push into the stack. Just for example, I selecting C, so C is adding into the stack. Next, visit any one of the non-visiting adjacent vertices of C. C having a path from C to A and C to D, but C to A is make a cycle, right? So there is no need to visit this particular, visit any one of the non-visited adjacent vertices of C. So if no visited vertices, then pop C. If there we have no option to visit ahead, so basically we pop C. So C is deleting from the stack, and now again we have a option. That means here we are implementing the concept of backtracking. So backtracking is nothing but it is showing the last visiting index of the graph, right? So after the C, deleting the C, we are reaching, we are pointing this particular index D, and here we have a connection from D to E. So visiting, non-visiting E vertex, that is a E, and we are adding in the stack. Next, we again check it. Do you have another vertex which are non-visiting? No. So we are popping element one by one from the stack to the stack is empty. And after this, we have this particular graph. So these are the concept of DFS and BFS. Thank you so much. I hope you will understand betterly. If you want to the next video on another approach, another concept, you can subscribe and comment. Thank you.